Okay, let's start here. Why it's antisocial to ask people what their job is unprompted. First off, it's cliche. How many times have you heard that? For literally everyone in the world. You're not going to get any points for originality for that. And it rarely, if ever, leads to a good conversation. Maybe once in a blue moon it'll happen, but pretty much never, in my experience. It's typically just used to like categorize people, put them into a social class or box, which is typically not a good thing. You don't really get great experiences from that, or good sense of people. Kind of locks you in from really getting to know them in a good way. Um, for a lot of people, it's the least interesting part of their lives. Like, yeah, if you got a really interesting job, sure, but those people will typically tell you about it and give you an opening for it. And the whole point of this is doing it unprompted or like without an opening, just using that as an icebreaker. It's not a good idea. I get jobs are an important part of people's identity, so it's not crazy to ask them about it. But if it comes up in context, you know, follow that line. Like, be curious in what they're talking about. But if it's not something they're bringing up, or it's completely disconnected from the conversation at hand, it makes no sense to just unprompted bring that up. It's not a great sequitur, I guess, in a conversation. It kind of like shows you have, mediocre social skills and that you've kind of run out of rope or interesting topics to bring up in your conversation. I find it's acutely bad in the West, the Western world, but even more than that, North America, it's particularly bad. Canada and US, like that is the bread and butter of people's conversations, man. It's going to be the first thing they want to ask you about, and it really stifles conversations. It's the first thing, and then it sort of leads you into a dead end or a conversational cul-de-sac. Yeah, I think increasingly in the future, it's going to be an even worse conversational opener as people have less standard careers. People might be losing their jobs to AI. They might be making their money in non-traditional ways or ways that can't really easily be answered by what your job is or what do you do. Honestly, at this point, I would take how are you making your money these days as a better conversation or opener, a more genuine question than what's your job or what do you do. Those are just my thoughts, though. I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy. Anyways, BB out.